Hey guys, Anna here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another speed build. Today we're in the world of Brindleton Bay and we are building a 3x2 bedroom family home. It's a 2-story home. This build is, the inspiration I had for this build is I wanted to build something that's like coastal meets Victorian. I do feel that this particular world of Brindleton Bay is based off of like the New English, New Hampshire area in America, that state, I guess. So I wanted to build something that would kind of fit in that theme as per se. Now I'm Australian, I have no idea. I didn't really look at any inspo pics. I just kind of like looked at like neighboring builds in the world and kind of see like what would go in that area. I love the world of Brindleton Bay. This is in the, I think it's Sable Square, which is where I guess the veterinarian is, the vet is, and that main kind of town area, I guess. And yeah, so I start with this build, obviously it starts with a couple of rectangles and they're just stacked, I guess. In my kind of like editing files, I just called it a stacked build because that's essentially what it was. This was a build you may actually have already seen a little bit on. I did some build with me snippets on this particular build over on my TikTok and also on YouTube Shorts. And you have to let me know in the comment section down below if you saw that content. Did you enjoy it? Is that something you would like to see a little bit more of? Would you like to see kind of like short form content of essentially what this video is? Like it's a speed build, but it's in short form content and it's little snippets of the process. Maybe you only want to see the shell of the build, which is what we're doing now. Or maybe you want to see it decorating. Maybe you want to see landscaping only. Like it kind of allows you to pick and choose. So let me know your thoughts on that process. All right, let's talk a little bit about the exterior. So I've used a lot of Strangerville, a lot of packs like Strangerville, cats and dogs, obviously. I've used a little bit of, I think, Life and Death potentially as well. I used the trim that came with, I think, is it For Rent? No, it's not For Rent. It'd be way different. I think it was from, it was from the Fairy Pack. Yeah, it's from Enchanted by Nature. So I use Enchanted by Nature twice in this build, which is crazy to me because I feel like I did, you know, my normal few builds when the pack came out and then I stopped using that expansion pack. Let me know in the comment section down below, would you like to see some more content with Enchanted by Nature? I would be really keen to, you know, do that for you guys. I have got a couple of builds in the works where I just had a weekend where I felt really inspired and I designed a whole pile of floor plans and yeah, so I'm just kind of working through those builds, but I definitely would love to add to the schedule. Right, so we've gone around with Strangerville windows. I love the windows from Strangerville. They're so beautiful. They just remind me of like a dollhouse and I don't know, I just love them. They're vintage looking, they're very classical and I just really like it. Apologies if you can hear a lot of wind in the background. It's very windy where I am and it's just, I've got like a wind tunnel that's happening. We are now moving into the landscaping and mapping out the backyard. We do go back at a later time and furnish the backyard, but I am just going in with basic greenery, hydrangeas, the palm that I always use. I love the trees that come with the Cats and Dogs expansion pack. They're those white barked kind of trees. They are actually in the catalog. They're not in like the debug menu or anything, but I think they're a perfect size and they just look so lovely. So I've used them in this particular build. This is my favorite pathing. It's a base game pathing and it's the standard pathing I would use if I was doing a blue suburban, which in a way this is kind of a little bit of a blue suburban. We've gone with the blue shingle wallpaper that comes from Cats and Dogs and paired it with the pop of yellow that comes in from the window frames from the Strangerville windows. Now that was the combination that I went with and that is why you've also got those yellow flowers in the planter boxes over the windows. I do add in additional ones on to the right side of the build for the front facade. I just think it needed a little bit more of a pop. The front door, so we've used the one tile wide front door from, I think they're both from Cats and Dogs. The back door is just the barn door, and I think I use that throughout the build. Now, I lost some footage, so you don't have the footage of me creating this floor plan, which is a shame because I actually think I nailed the floor plan on this one. It is beautiful. We really do use every inch of the home in this particular build. A great use of space. We do start in the kitchen, however. So this is actually a kitchen and dining space. It is also where you would enter the upstairs. So you have like the stairs there. So in a normal home, this would be an entry, and I would just leave it as an entry and you have your stairs. But I've actually utilized the space, added a kitchen and a dining, and I was able to tuck a bathroom behind the stairs. So you have a downstairs bathroom, you have a master bedroom, a hallway, and then you have the living area. So it's just genius. It's my favorite thing about this entire house is the floor plan, which sounds really crazy to say, but it is a beautiful home. This is actually a home I would play in. I just think it would be really good for a smaller family. It is a 3x2, and I've decorated it so that you have, I believe it's I feel like it's a twins child's room, and then there's like a nursery, as well as obviously the master bedroom that is downstairs. All right, so we do put in a little bit of a nook for an entryway. I don't put too much there because the space isn't as big. This hallway felt like a perfect opportunity to use like a hutch. So I used like this laundry type hutch, mainly to hide the glitching that was coming through from the balustrade railing from the staircase. It then wraps around to this kind of back area. I suppose this is like, well, the front's called an entry. I don't know what the back's called. But anyway, I just put like a really cozy ottoman from laundry day, and I put in a side table. This comes from obviously Cats and Dogs. I believe I just put a plant on top of there. I've been really enjoying doing that lately. Sometimes, you know, when you don't have a lot of space, you can still elevate the area with that. Through that door is the bathroom. This is the downstairs bathroom. But yeah, as you can see, this home just has it's just got a cozy vibe to it. It's kind of vintage, it's kind of cozy. I know I talked over that whole entire kitchen, but like you've got the country kitchen kit, kitchen set, and it's very cozy paired with, and we use a lot of blue. So obviously there's a lot of blue in this house. A lot of blue, pinks, yellows, greens. All of the bedrooms have their own color. I think the nursery's like a yellow, the kids' bedrooms are green, and the master bedrooms are blue. Yeah. All right, we are in the downstairs bathroom. This is the only one that I will show you like decorating, because I only do show one usually. So I've just gone in with a counter and a sink. I really could have just used a sink that came from the pack. I don't know why I didn't just use a freestanding sink. I've gone in with the dated shower tub combo from Base Game, an older looking toilet. So I've intentionally gone for parts, like assets that look older, just to kind of fit the theme. We are then moving in to the living room. Of course, I've used that couch from, Cats and Dogs. Love this. I am obsessed the way that the Cats and Dogs items pair with Adventure Awaits. I find that they pair really well. I struggled to find a rug to use in this area. I ended up using one that came from Laundry Day, actually, in that grey tone. I felt that it matched the tones of the home really well. We've gone with a more neutral, muted, soft colour palette in this space. I put in a cat tree, and I decided that, you know, I would put space for a pet in this particular build. I love the little family photos. I've said it before, I just think it's so cute. I've used the owl decal that came from Growing Together, just something to really spruce up the space. That is not a huge living room in there, but it's got all the stuff that you need. It's got a bookcase and, you know, the TV essentially. All right, we are moving into the first bedroom, which is the master bedroom. I started with the cats and dogs, like quilted patchwork bed, paired it with the dresser that came from Cats and Dogs. I hate that the actual wood tones are not the same color. Even though it comes from the same pack, it actually infuriates me. And I've decided to put like a porta cot in here and just trying to pull from the reds. And I think in the end, I went with this rug that came from Cats and Dogs, and it paired quite nicely. I've used a little bit of that, the West African painting inspired. I think I do use the plant somewhere as well. I just really like it. It's really solid artwork. It's really pretty. All right, we are now upstairs, and this is that kind of foyer area. So I had a little bit of space in this area. I actually refrained from putting in an extra like room, and I kept this all open. So we've put in a study nook because there's no other place in the build, I think, that has a computer. Like the actual, I don't think the master bedroom had one. So I've added that in there. And then I've added in a chess table and just some kids stuff, because this build obviously does have children, and as they grow they will obviously need things like that. I still love the really small rugs that come from Aventura Weights. I think they're really useful in a lot of hallways as well, obviously bathrooms and entryways and stuff. Okay, we are now moving into the nursery. I use a lot of the Storybook nursery kit purely because it's very dated looking. It's very vintage looking, and it fits the vibe of the home to a T. And I love this little rug. So it's got like animals on it, and I really pull from that. And I've used the flowered wallpaper. This is actually just base game. And I've just pretty much opened the Storybook nursery kit and used every item from there. And then voila, you have a nursery. So it's it makes decorating very simple, where you can just use the entire kit in one room and it works. Fits the build. Sorry if you can hear that wind. It's very windy where I am at the moment, so apologies if you can hear that. But yeah, I've used that beautiful decal that has the, it's a tree that has the animals in it. That's from Growing Together. I've been using it a ton. So that was a nice little addition in there. So this is where the second part of the build, where we use the Enchanted by Nature expansion pack. I use the wall decal that has I think it's got like the plants and the pictures in it. You'll see I kind of like halved the room. I have one room that's kind of hobbies and whatnot, and the other half is kind of more nature-esque, which is this side here. And I think it works. I think it's subtle, but I think it's a very pretty space. And as I said, we use a lot of green in this room as the main kind of color. It just helps me to decorate, to have some kind of idea of what I need to put in there. Basic rug. The beds are from base game. The rug's from base game. The dresser is from Cats and Dogs. And now I'm just kind of going outside. So we've done the bedrooms, done the final touches inside. Just add in a cards table on the back porch, and going in with a doormat, and we are doing the outside. So very basic outside. I've used the picnic table and umbrella piece that comes from Cats and Dogs, putting in the hopscotch that comes from For Rent, basketball that comes from City Living, and then just the basic stuff I always put. I put in a picnic blanket. This comes from Lovestruck, and the kind of picnic basket looking thing that comes from Businesses and Hobbies. Yeah, so there's a ton of packs. But if you do like this build, it is available on the Sims 4 gallery. My gallery ID is Antoinette.44. It is in the description below if you would like to download it. Alright, we are live in game. So you head in to this beautiful kitchen dining space. This is my favorite space in the house. Just the way that I was able to pull this off and it still be functional. You also have access to the upstairs from there. You then walk down this little hallway into the master bedroom. Down through the back, you have your downstairs bathroom. And then across from there, you go into the living room. Very simple, but cozy. Put space for a cat. Did I put a litter box anywhere? That will be a question. I always forget. All right, upstairs into the foyer, you've got a study nook. Into the infant's kind of nursery. And then into the child's room. Twin child's room. Really nice space. And the upstairs bathroom, there is a litter box. That's exciting. So just a very simple bathroom in there as well. But a little bit bigger than the one from downstairs. So that's nice. You then head downstairs and outside. You have that basic entertainment area. Lots of kids' activities. And I did put a debug car. Just to kind of go with the yellow theme. All right, that's today's build. If you enjoyed this one, please consider subscribing and commenting, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.